Hello and welcome back to Magium. It's been a while. I think last time I uploaded was in what was it? December, I believe. Episode 221. Yeah, it was like some date in December. I don't remember exactly. And today is 31st of March, so it's been a while. And I probably am going to upload like midway through February. So yeah, I had no plans of playing this, by the way. I was not going to be playing Magium for a while. I have way too much like IRL stuff I need to take care of, and I usually am just swamped by the events of Path to Nowhere. But this time the event was a rerun. It was a fairly short one as well, so I finished it in 2 days, and I still have time, so I'm going to be recording this. Specifically, why I'm recording this is because Beatrice Smith commented that will I will come continuing the rest of the book. I am, and here I am, specifically because she requested. I will play this a bunch and at least upload like 15-20 episodes before I go back to the Magium fucking upload. No, not the Magium upload, the Path to Nowhere upload, because I still have so many raw files. I honestly don't have space to keep all of them. Like there's so I got 300 GBs worth of fucking raw files that I have recorded but I have not edited and uploaded. So unfortunately there are going to be a bunch of Path of Nowhere because I love playing that game. But I will make room for Magium. I'll try to make room for Magium every month instead of just like dipping out of it. But yeah, here we go. Since we are here, let's begin. So last time we went on the surface to get some herbs. We met Loirak or whatever his name is in the herbologist's room, and we are getting out of there, but we feel like the royal guards are on top of us almost, so we are trying to get out of here. And I believe the last time we were somewhere around here. Let's see. Yeah, this was when Keldrin was the goblin mage was trying to say like we should like use a nausea spell that almost kills him, and Darren's like, we're not gonna let you do a stupid spell like that almost kills you, to make enemies vomit a little. If I amplify the spell, the effects could be much stronger than simple nausea, Keldrim says, and what's really important right now is getting the medicine to the sick people in the quarantine zone. If we all die, then there will be nobody left to help. Keldrim, again I say, I'm not going to let you sacrifice yourself no matter the reasoning. Darren says, leave the fighting to us, we'll take care of it. You just stay back and cast whatever healing spells you have that can be used during combat, okay? Okay, Keldrim says in an unconvinced tone, then he quickly changes the subject. I think we've already put enough distance between us and the herbal shop. Maybe we should try calling Barry again. As we all stop moving, both Darren and Keldrim try to call the teleporter guy one more time, but to no avail. Barry Thundercloud is still just as unreachable. This is clearly not working. Can we focus on preparing for the fight instead? Maybe we should go a little further down the road, try to call him again. Yeah, it's clearly not working, so we should focus on the fight, I would say. This is clearly not working. Can we focus on preparing for the fight instead? I mean, we could, but is there really anything to talk about that we haven't covered already in our last strategy meeting? Darren says, how do we deal with Gontok? I will try to deal with the captain. The rest of you should focus on taking out the others as quickly as possible. Melindra, how many enemies are headed our way? I'm counting about 6 that have been heading consistently in our direction since we left the shop, Melindra says. The only ones I recognize are Gontok and the captain. 3 of the others are mages. One of them appeared to be a normal human, although he might be using Lesethi devices as weapons. What about the guy in black robes who attacked us when we went to the surface last time? Darren says, do you know where he is? No, I do not, Melindra says. He was using a lot of Lesethi artifacts, so I couldn't put it past him to have a ring that would make him undetectable even to someone like me. What about you, Araka? Darren says, do you by any chance sense anyone with a nearly undetectable aura heading our way right now? Yes, obviously, Araka says. And would it be possible to let us know when he will be close enough to attack us? Darren says, sure, whatever Araka says. Good. Darren says, at least now we'll have one less thing to worry about. Wonder how long do the guards have till they reach us? Darren says, it's going to take them at least a few more minutes. If they keep moving at the current speed, Melinda says, they were already far from us when I first detected them. They sure are taking their sweet time, aren't they? Hardrick says, they probably know that we can't teleport out of here at the moment. Melinda says, they didn't even bother to send their trainees to keep us busy this time around. It's clear that they are the ones behind the signal interference. But at least this gives us the advantageous position of having enough time to position ourselves on the battlefield. Hardrick says, this street is pretty wide and long, so it's pretty much perfect for an all-out brawl. Hey guys, so I know this is a kind of sudden, but I have a little confession to make, I say. Now not really the time, Barry, Devon says. I know, but try to bear with me here, I say. It will only take a second anyway. So recently I just discovered the fact that my survival instincts may be slightly defective and... Wait, you only discovered that recently? Hardrick says, shocked. Yes, I say. I came to the realization during the Gods of Rituals trial. Ever since then, I've been trying to be more careful about my decisions, but you've been trying to be more careful about your decision by asking Araka how to kill a god and then convincing us all to go along with your crazy plan. Darren asked me perplexed. Aside from that, I say, look, the point I'm trying to make is that I know I can make some really insane decisions, true, sometimes, but I'm trying to improve, and I'd appreciate it if you guys help me out with that. In other words, if you hear me come up with a dumb plan in the future, just smack me over the back of the head or something. That way I'll at least know to tone it down a bit. Barry, Hardik says as he puts his hand on the side of my shoulder, I want you to know that you can definitely count on me to smack you over the head as many times as you consider necessary. Not because I'd enjoy it, but as a favor to a friend. That is hilarious. Perfect, I say. So on that note, I just came up with this idea of how we could gain an advantage over the Royal Guards in the upcoming fight. If Melindra were to cast her air currents on me again, I could fly ahead and bait some of the enemies away from you guys by shooting crossbow bolts at them from the air. As long as I can keep their attention on me long enough, you guys could gang up on the remaining guards, take care of them while all of a sudden, I feel the familiar and nostalgic sensation of cold hard icicle smacking me over the back of the head. A fucking icicle? Wouldn't that fucking hurt like hell? Wouldn't that like make him bleed and shit? Wouldn't that just kill him, honestly? How the hell did he survive an icicle hitting his back of the head? When I turn around, I see the kid is still holding the icicle in her hand, looking at me. Maybe it's a really thin icicle that she's just holding in her hand. When I turn around, I see the kid is still holding the icicle in her hand, looking at me with a disapproving expression on her face. I should have known that you couldn't keep talking for more than a minute without saying something really stupid. Kate says, we already talked about this once. You're not splitting up, we will fight the Royal Guards together. Is that understood? Yes, ma'am, I say. Good, Kate says as she makes the icicle disappear. Let's get ready. Then I'm beginning to sense Gondok aura too, so he must be getting close. Yes, well, Gondok eventually decides to sprint ahead of the others like last time, Melindra said, which means that he will be the first to attack. So he'll be coming from over there, so I recommend that you prepare yourself, Hardrick. Guys, just one question before we begin the battle, Kilram says. When you said earlier that you were planning to fight a god, that was only a figure of speech, right? You weren't being serious. We all stare at the goblin, not sure exactly what to tell him. Guys, the goblin says, looking a bit more frightened after seeing that we are not answering. Araka laughs. Figure of speech, he said. This goblin is way too funny. You guys should keep him as a mascot. That's actually funny. As Gondok gets closer and closer, we all eventually stop talking, while a feeling of tense and uncertainty gradually begins to fill the air around us. Hardrick is now putting some distance between him and us in order to make sure that we won't be caught in the crossfire. Then the two shapeshifted giants begin exchanging blows. The next 20 seconds of waiting feel almost like an eternity. When Gondok finally enters the line of sight, Hardrick plants his feet into the ground and he puts his guard up, bracing himself for impact. Without showing any signs of slowing down, Gondok keeps charging towards us, lining himself up with Hardrick until he arrives about 24 feet in front of him. He then suddenly accelerates, traveling the remaining distance between the two of them in the blink of an eye, while readying his fist to strike as hard as he can. Hardrick blocks the punch with both his forearm, but the impact of the hit is still strong enough to send him flying a few feet backwards. When he sees his enemy successfully landing on his feet after the first attack, Gondok stops to give Hardrick a malicious grin before he begins to talk. I've been looking forward to this, Gondok says. I hope you're ready for a rematch, Hardrick. More ready than you think, Hardrick says. Well, in that case, let's see what you... Hold on a minute there. I recognize that goblin, Gondok says, as he points towards Kelrim. I've seen him with the rebels, and if you people are traveling with him now, then that means... As Gondok figures out what's going to happen, his face gradually lights up with joy. I can't speak out loud, so I can't do the ha properly. Ha! I knew it, he says in a loud voice, pretty sure that we can all hear him properly. You were hiding under the city this whole time, weren't you? That's why we couldn't find you. You were being sheltered by the so-called king of the underground and his merry men. I've been telling the real king for a long time that these underground dwellers were traitors and need to be eliminated, but the captain would find a way to defend his old disciple and to claim that his underground society somehow didn't pose a threat to us. Oh, I can't wait to see how he'll defend them now. Actually, King of the Underground is not our friend. He even attacked us this morning. They only offered us temporary shelter. There is no need to get them involved. Even if you want to attack the King of the Underground, it's fine by me. I never liked the guy.